Yo, what's up, man? Low nose boxing. You know I don't really be going live like that. I'm still taking my time. My channel is still growing, and I'm still getting used to this. I'm still getting my feet wet. I mean, I gotta give y'all a lot of respect. And I'm talking about other YouTube channels that be going live for hours and hours. Even if y'all don't have that many people tuned in, it takes a special. And I don't mean it in a bad way because I'm in the same boat. I'm a YouTuber like y'all. But it takes a special type of person with only 5 or 10 people and not that many people even interacting. It takes a special individual to do that, man. You know? And shout out to my friends, my YouTube friends. And I'm not saying that y'all be talking on the screen by yourselves, because y'all been around for a while, y'all have a following. Shout out to Troy King, Hamza, Queen of the Chivo. Shout out to Mill City Boxing. Shout out to Punch Drunk Boxing. Shout out to Four Corners Boxing. Shout out to Monty Brown. Shout out to Ness and the Boxing Voice. Shout out to King Amin in the championship rounds. Shout out to Rap Star Boxing. Boxing Knowledge. I'm just chilling right now. I'm in the house. It's a Friday night, man. And I want to talk about some boxing news. I want to talk about some boxing bochinche. I want to talk about upcoming fights. The upcoming fight between Saul Canelo Alvarez and Edgar Berlanga. That's what I want to talk about. Now, right now, I'm looking real crazy because I'm on this joint. Shout out to Mazuma TV. Shout out to Greg Hackett. Shout out to YSM Sports. You know, anybody I forgot to mention, my apologies. Yeah, like I said, it takes a special type of person to make videos, to go live, to be talking to a screen. You know? To be talking to a screen. Right now, I don't got nobody watching. Not one person, not one single soul is tuned in. But it's okay though. You know, slow motion is better than no motion when it's all said and done. As you can see, I'm sipping on some vitamin C. I'm under the weather right now. Vitamin C with lemon, water, and honey. Because I'm a little sick. Whoever just tuned in, leave a comment, man. So what's up, whoever's on? How do you see the Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga fight going? At first, I was like, Edgar Berlanga doesn't have a chance. But Edgar Berlanga does have power. And he does have a strong left hook. And if Canelo Alvarez is taking Edgar Berlanga lightly, anything can happen in boxing. But this is how I see the fight going. It could go one of two ways. I can see Edgar Berlanga going all out, going balls to the wall, and just letting it all hang out. And if he does that, it's going to be electrifying. Edgar by KO. Tell me why. And shout out to you, YG Thug. Yeah, so if Edgar Berlanga goes all out with Canelo, I can see Canelo catching him and knocking him out in a highlight real fast. Because one thing about Canelo Alvarez, he's definitely one of the top 4 counter punchers in boxing. Yeah, I know you just trolling, huh? Canelo winning, yeah. And the other scenario I got is if Edgar Berlanga gets hurt and doesn't like the power, I could see Edgar Berlanga possibly going on a shell, looking to survive, very timid to let his hands go, sort of like Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when he fought Canelo. And then I could see it go the distance because Canelo has shown when he's in there with a guy that's just looking to survive, he has trouble closing the show. Now, don't get me wrong. Canelo does know how to cut the ring off. He does, but I could see, like I said, I could see Berlanga going in there, trying to survive, trying to go 12 rounds, and I could also see him going all out. And pardon me, I'm multitasking between entertaining y'all, and I'm also in my living room watching WWE SmackDown. Yeah, I watch wrestling too. Low key, I can make a wrestling podcast because I'm a historian with that as well. Now, that's how I see the Canelo fight. But I'm leaning more towards Edgar Berlanga is going to let it all out. I'm going to give Berlanga the benefit of the doubt and say that he's going to go in there and he's going to put a gallant effort. He's going to put a gallant effort. How old am I? I'm 44. Nah, I don't box. I mean, when I was younger, I've been to the gyms, you know, and everybody always told me I was very talented. I always been nice with my hands, got natural ability. I learned fast. My uncle taught me how to fight. I did a little sparring and stuff like that. But at the time when I was in the gym, as a teenager, I was 1 foot in, and I was also 1 foot out. Like I was involved with the streets. I was, you know, I was doing the wrong thing at one point in my life, so I didn't have time to dedicate myself to boxing. But I'm sure that if I did, I would have went far. I firmly believe that. But I do go to the gym to keep myself sharp. I move around and stuff like that, keep myself in shape. Right now I'm going light because I'm recovering from a tear that I got in my left shoulder into my bicep. So I'm doing physical therapy and I'm in the boxing gym, but I'm going light until my shoulder gets back to 100%. But yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, let me see these comments, man. Pardon me for. But yeah, that's how I see the Berlanga fight going. And I want to talk about Terrence Bud Crawford. What's next for Terrence Bud Crawford? See, Terrence Crawford, based on his performance that he just had against Mazdamov, I don't like Crawford's chances with Canelo Alvarez. I really don't. Because the thing about Canelo Alvarez, even though he's not as slick as Terrence Crawford, he's not as athletic as Terrence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez has better defense than Terrence Crawford. So does Floyd Mayweather. That's the reason why guys like Canelo Alvarez, guys like Floyd Mayweather, guys like Roberto Duran, those guys were able to move up multiple weight classes and dominate, even against guys that were big punchers. Because the thing that I noticed about Crawford, even though he showed great defense against Errol Spence, on the inside, when he lets his hands go, he keeps his head in a straight line. He leaves his chin in the air. He doesn't keep it tucked. You know what I mean? He's not as defensively responsible. And because of that, I don't see Terrence Crawford beating a Canelo Alvarez. I don't see him doing what Floyd Mayweather did. Because Floyd Mayweather was a lot more defensively responsible on the inside against Terrence Bud Crawford. Against Floyd Mayweather was defensively responsible against Canelo Alvarez on the inside and in mid-range. Crawford, when he's in mid-range, like I said, he punches, but he keeps his chin in the air. That's how he gets hit with clean shots. He's shown a pretty decent chin, especially his last fight. Because at one point, Crawford's chin was a little questionable because he got arguably dropped against Kavaliauskas. When he was at 135, he got stunned against Gamboa, right? But doesn't mean he has a weak chin, because a lot of times when a fighter moves up in weight, their ability to have a stronger punch resistance is there because they're not draining themselves to lose weight. So for Bud Crawford, what I would like to see for Bud Crawford is I would like a Charlo fight. I would like the winner of if what's his name? Virgil Ortiz could win. If Virgil Ortiz is victorious tomorrow night, I would like to see Virgil Ortiz versus Terrence Bud Crawford. And by the way, man, as soon as you walk into my crib, please take your shoes off. Please hit the like button. There's only 5 of y'all here, and I appreciate you taking the time out from your busy day and schedule to tune in and look at me and watch me talk boxing like I do. But please hit the like button. Come on, let's go 5 for 5. Let's go 5 for 5, man. There was 5 people in here. Now that's 3, and I only got 2 likes, 3 likes. There we go, 3 for 3. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I would like to see Charlo as my first choice, or I would like to see not even Charlo as my first choice because Charlo's been inactive. I would like to see Virgil Ortiz, or I would like to see Jerron Boots Ennis. I would like to see Jerron Boots Ennis for Terrence Crawford next. Now, I want to talk about what's next for Jerron Boots Ennis. First off, shout out to Jerron Boots Ennis. Shout out to his dad, Bozy Ennis. Those are good people right there. You know, I build a rapport and a cool little vibe with Bozy Ennis especially. He's allowed me to go to his gym about 3 times already. I got a chance to kick it with him. I spoke to Boots a little bit. The first time I went, he wasn't there. He had a shoulder injury. But I got a good rapport with Andy Cruz, and I look forward to stopping by Bozy's dungeon sometime at the end of this month or sometime in the middle of next month, God willing. But yeah, I went to Ennis's fight live when he took on David Avanesian, and the building was electric, man. The environment was crazy. And I really want to see the Wells Fargo Arena become the new Barclays Center as far as the new mecca of boxing in the East Coast, along with the Barclay, along with Madison Square Garden. And Jerron Boots Ennis, who I would like to see for Jerron Boots Ennis next. First off, Jerron Ennis just fought July 13th. He didn't really take no punishment like that. I would like to see Boots Ennis back in the ring sometime around August, September, October. Let's say November. I want to see Jerron Ennis back in the ring in November. The opponents that I would like to see Jerron Ennis take on Evis Kavalaskis, Mean Machine. Because whenever you're trying to build up a good fight, a big fight, you want to have common opponents with your potential rival. Evis Kavalaskis had 2 solid fights with Bud Crawford and with Virgil Ortiz. He knocked down Virgil Ortiz before getting stopped late, and arguably he dropped Bud Crawford before getting stopped, I think in the 7th or 8th round. So I would like to see Jerron Ennis take on Evis Kavalaskis. He's a good test. He's an Olympian. He's a good counterpuncher. He got power. He's tough. That's a fight I would like to see for Ennis in Philly. Another option I would like is, it's the Maniac. Shout out to y'all, man. Maniac Boxing. Once again, I gave y'all a shout out earlier. 4 Corners Boxing in the building, man. Got a lot of love for y'all. But yeah, I want to see also Jerron Ennis versus Blair Cobb. That's an all-out Philadelphia fight. Blair Cobb is originally from Philly as well. He's a fighter that knows how to sell a fight. He's a showman. He's entertaining. He knows how to talk heavy. That's a fight that's perfect for the Wells Fargo Arena. Only thing is, Blair Cobb is with Don King. So the question is Don King ready to put him in there and do a joint promotion with Eddie Hearn? Mind you, Don King doesn't really have a deep roster like that. Do you have? What? Block radio? How do I block somebody talking crazy like that? Block this nigga, man. Talking crazy. Get him up out of here. J&D boxing. I thought Crawford looked good, not great, but ATM, he'll beat Boots. Mostly 154. Can't think of anyone who beats. I'm gonna be honest with you. If Crawford were to fight Jerron Ennis, I would root for Jerron Ennis, but I gotta keep it a bean without being biased. If I had to make a bet, I would go with Buck Crawford due to his experience. But if Jerron Ennis were to pull it off and defeat Buck Crawford, I wouldn't be surprised. Because to me, he's not that much of an underdog. There's a difference. See, there's different type of levels of underdogs, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Javante Davis, let's say he was to fight Lomachenko. Based on the styles, based on what I've seen that gives Lomachenko problems, I would be very surprised if Lomachenko were to beat Javante Davis, because I don't see anything that Lomachenko could do to nullify Javante Davis over 12 rounds. I see a competitive fight, but I will be shocked. Now, Javante for Teofimo or Shakur Stevenson, right? Even though I will pick Javante over either Teo or Shakur. However, if Teo or Shakur were to pull an upset off, I wouldn't be surprised, because those fighters have the type of intangibles that could beat anybody in or around their weight class, including the Javante Davis. Salute, brother. If Teo moves to 147, I would like to see him. If Teofimo moves to 147, I would like to see him fight. See them fight. Teo and Boots, I'm gonna be honest with you. Teofimo and Boots, for me, I think that's a stylistic nightmare for Teofimo Lopez, because he's gonna be looking in the mirror of a bigger version of himself. And what I mean by that is Teofimo Lopez is a fighter that is very athletic, right? He has decent fundamentals. He doesn't always use them, but he's very athletic, fast twitchy. He got some decent power. He got some good power, even though he hasn't scored a knockout in a while. Jerron Ennis can do all that next level athletic stuff that Teo can do. You feel what I'm saying? Plus, he's taller than Teo. He's longer than Teo. He got more reach than Teo, and he uses a jab. So I don't see Teofimo being able to beat a Jerron Ennis, because when you have two fighters that are highly athletic, but the size is what separates them, the bigger guy usually wins. So I'm going to go on my historian bag right now. An example, back in the 90s, Meldrick Taylor, right? Highly skilled, highly athletic, slick black fighter with fast hands. Champion at 140, 147. He moved up to 154 to test the waters against Terry Norris, who was a bigger guy, who had all the same intangibles, speed, power, and athleticism, and it didn't turn out good for Meldrick Taylor. So to answer your question, no, I don't think Teofimo beats Jerron Boots Ennis. I don't think anybody at 147 beats Jerron Boots Ennis unless Terrence Crawford were to move back down. Salute, bro. Who else? Boxing Maniac at 54, Jamel, Fundura, Zoo, Ortiz, and even Lubin are very good scraps for Bud. And of course, Boots always an option if he moves up to 154. I believe Boots should move to 154. I think he might have I hope he has at least 2 fights at 147. I would like to see him fight, like I said, Cav Velasquez. I would like to see him fight Blair Cobb. I would like to see him fight Conor Benn, being that he's on Matchroom. And then I would like him to jump to 154 and go for a belt. So therefore, he'll have something that Buck Crawford would want. So that will give Buck Crawford an incentive to fight Boots Ennis. J&D boxing. Stevenson will get beat by Davis and Loma. I believe Davis beat Stevenson. It's going to be very hard for Stevenson to beat Javante Davis, because let's say it's a close fight. Let's say Stevenson boxes well but moves around a lot, but it's a close fight. I don't see them giving the decision to Stevenson, because Javante is the face of boxing. He's one of the faces of boxing. To beat Javante Davis, you're going to have to go in there. You're going to have to beat Javante Davis. So because of that, because of the lack of star power that Shakur has compared to Tank Davis, if it goes the distance, I don't think they'll give it to Shakur, even if it's close, even if it looks like Shakur won. But out of all those guys, between 135 and 140, I believe Javante Davis is the most complete fighter out of all those guys. But Like I said before, Shakur Stevenson does have the tools to beat Javante Davis, but I just don't see it happening though. As for Lomachenko, that could be a very tough fight for both of them. I could see Loma beating Shakur, and I could see Shakur beating Loma. Stop motion MMA. Salute, Lo. How long have you been live? I've been live since I said 8 o'clock. Cause as I'm talking to y'all, I'm also watching WWE SmackDown. So I said, let me just get on real quick. Let me do a sneak live. And to y'all, I appreciate each and every one of y'all, man. Y'all follow my channel and everything like that. I take my time. I don't pump out content all the time because I don't like talking about everything. Everything under the sun, the bochinche. I want to talk about things that really catch my attention. I'm into technical boxing. I'm not into bochinche. Another thing, I gotta start going live more often. At times I can get, I'm not gonna say camera shy, but being that I don't have that many followers yet, when I'm on live, like right now I got 5 people, but I was here running my mouth for like a few minutes before anybody got on. So it takes a whole different type of person to be on a phone or a camera or a computer and just talk to a screen without anybody talking back. So I'm still getting used to this. But I appreciate y'all interacting with me for sure. Definitely, man. Definitely. And yeah, once again, I got 4 people. There we go, 4 for 4. That's what I'm talking about. 4 for 4. Y'all already know what I was going to say. And to answer your question, it says I've been live for 21 minutes and 43 seconds. So we covered the Canelo versus Edgar Berlanga. We covered what could be next for Bud Crawford. We covered what could be next for Boots Ennis. What do you think about Virgil Ortiz fight this weekend? I'm looking forward to that fight. I want to see if he looks sharp because Virgil Ortiz is one of the guys that I would like to see fight Bud Crawford. He's one of those guys. I want to see Bud fight Virgil Ortiz. I want to see Bud fight Charlo. I want to see him fight Tim Tszyu. I want to see him fight Sebastian Fundora. I want to see him fight Jerron Boots Ennis. Now the next guy I'm gonna talk about what could be next. What could be next for Teofimo Lopez? Teofimo Lopez, as we all know, is running around like a big stepper. People be hating on Teo. But one thing for sure, 2 things for certain. When Teofimo Lopez calls you out, excuse me, he actually fights you, man. He's not like the Terrence Crawford call out, right? We could do a live on Instagram later. Yeah, why not? Absolutely, man. We could do it on YouTube too, man. I'm getting used to this. Boxing Maniac. But yeah, like I was saying, with Teo, he's calling out Bud Crawford. And I believe that is what we need. I agree with you. That's a good fight. Teo versus Parrow. The thing with Teo was this. History's shown when he calls somebody out, he does what he has to do to fight them. And he fights them, and he's 2 for 2. When he was calling out Lomachenko, he been calling Lomachenko out when he had like maybe 10 fights. People say he was crazy. Lomachenko said that Teo has to go do something. What did Teofimo Lopez do? He became a world champion, right? And he fought Loma and beat him. And then he was calling out Josh Taylor, right? Eventually, he moved up to 140, acclimated himself for 2 fights. He fought Josh Taylor. Fast forward, he's calling out Terrence Crawford, right? And the rumors are Teo might be going to 147 and possibly fight what's his name? Not Kenny Sims, Brian Norman Jr. And Brian Norman Jr., to my knowledge, may be elevated soon to become the WBO welterweight champion. So Teo is putting himself in position. But me personally, what I would like for Teofimo Lopez to do, to piggyback on what you just said, stop motion MMA, I want to see Teo stay at 140, make a name for himself, and clean out that division. Because he has a lot of good fighters in that division. Even though the belt holders, the names aren't the big names like before, right? At one point, if he beats Brian Norman, he could use the WBO belt to become Crawford's mandatory Um, it depends. But like I said, I don't really want that welterweight fight for Tio. I'd rather him stick around at 140. But like I was saying though, the belt holders at 140 was Tio, Devin Haney, Pitbull Cruz, Subaru Matias. Four fighters that are known. Subaru Matias is known. He got the backing of the Puerto Rican fan base, but he just laid an egg against Parra. Devin Haney, one of the young four kings, five kings, whatever you want to say, he laid an egg against Ryan Garcia. Austrian or no Austrian, Devin Haney took a major setback. Pitbull Cruz laid an egg against Raul Valenzuela. So if you look at the champions there, right, it's Tio, it's Jose Valenzuela, it's Liam Pato, and then it's the Dominican ball, Puello or Cuello, something like that. For me, for Tio, I would like Tio to fight Jose Valenzuela next because they have history. They sparred before in the past, and according to Valenzuela and the Benavidez father, the trainer that trained them, he allegedly dropped and stopped Teofimo Lopez in sparring twice. That's what they say. So for me, with the state of 140, Tio has some good names, right? You got Raul Valenzuela, that's a nemesis. You got assuming Pato and Subriel have a rematch, you can take on the winner of that. Being that Golden Boy, due to Turkey Al-Ashiki, is doing business with Top Rank, we can get the winner of a Jose Ramirez, Arnold Barboza fight for Teofimo Lopez. Devin Haney is only one good, solid win away from getting his name up there for a Teofimo Lopez fight, for that fight becoming attractive again, right? Pitbull Cruz. If Pitbull Cruz were to get a solid win, we're looking at a Tio versus Pitbull fight. Gary Antoine Russell, if he can get a big win, if he can get that title in a rematch from Cuello, that'll be a good fight for Teofimo Lopez. Who else at 140? Then you got Javante Davis at 135. Assuming Javante Davis does not get the Shakur Stevenson fight, we could possibly see Javante move up to 140 and taking on Jose Valenzuela. And we can get a Tio versus Javante fight. We also got Jack Catterall. You see how deep 140 is? We have a very deep division, right? And my thing is this. Why move up out of the division when you can make a legacy and you can make a lot of money cleaning out the division? You see, Danny Garcia, and I'm about to go in my historian bag right now. Before Danny Garcia moved up to 147 pounds, Danny Garcia cleaned out 140 pounds. He cleaned out that whole division, literally. Before Danny became a world champion, he beat Nate Campbell. He beat Kendall Holt. He became a champion. He beat Eric Morales twice. He beat Zab Judah. He beat Lucas Matisse. He beat Mauricio Herrera. And then he fought Brandon Rios, who was also on the list of 140 guys that Tio had in his era. He caught up to Brandon Rios and knocked him out at 147. He caught up to Lamont Peterson and beat Lamont Peterson somewhere around 144 or 145. And he even took on Jose Benavidez, who was also one of his peers. He got him at 154. So Danny Garcia beat everybody in his era. So if Teofimo Lopez can beat everybody or most of the guys at 140 today, he can possibly go down as the greatest junior welterweight of all time. That's the reason why I want to see Tio stay at 140. And I believe he can do this if he gives us 3 solid years at 140. That's like 2 to 3 fights a year. If he does that and it beats everybody he fights, come on, man. We talking about a legend at 140. That's a weight class that we seen Oscar De La Hoya compete at. We seen Pretty Boy Floyd. We seen Pernell Whitaker. We seen Chavez. We seen Wilfredo Benitez. We seen Aaron Pryor. We seen Danny Garcia. We seen Terrence Crawford, Josh Taylor. I mean, I could go on. And Tio could easily insert himself into that list if he sticks around and cleans out the division. J&D Boxing, people sleep on them overseas guys because They haven't seen him yet. They haven't seen him fight. Put me on to somebody that I need to know about. Liam Powell didn't shock me. Going into that fight, I said that Liam Powell would be Subriel's toughest fight. I didn't predict a victory, but I did say it would be his toughest fight, and I did say if he were to win, I wouldn't be surprised. And sure enough, he won that fight. Yo, Haney to stay at 140, 147. I think Haney should stay at 140. I don't think Devin Haney has the punch or the punch resistance to be competitive at 147 pounds. I still think Devin Haney could be a formidable opponent for anybody and a world champion again, as long as he regains his confidence. You see, that's the difference. He has to show that grit. This is a part of Devin Haney's career where we're going to see if Devin Haney can fall into the category of one of two type of fighters. We have fighters that were able to bounce back from losses and become great again. And then we have fighters that were legends, great fighters that took losses and were unable to bounce back and achieve further greatness. We seen Teofimo do that when he bounced back. We seen Raul Valenzuela do that. He got knocked out brutally against De Los Santos, came back, became a world champion. Now we got to see if Devin Haney can do that. Bubs Boxing, no nose, much respect, my G. Good to see you back. Yeah, man, I ain't go nowhere, man. I just, like I said, I haven't been live in a while, and I don't post as frequent as I should. Haney not going to 140 no more, I guarantee. I mean, if he goes to 147, who is he going to beat? You tell me that. Million Films. Who is Devin Haney going to beat at 147? I don't think Devin Haney could beat Brian Norman Jr. He definitely ain't beating Boots Ennis. Mario Barrios is a tough fight. He could probably beat Barrios. If Devin is sharp on his A game, I could see Devin Haney outboxing Barrios. But he going to have to be real sharp because Mario Barrios is decent. He can crack. Pause. And he's tall. He got reach. Martin Bacoli, I don't know. I never seen him fight before. What weight class he fights at? What weight class he fights at? I appreciate, man. Y'all who jumped up in here. You know, y'all showing me love. Y'all hitting the like button, man. Let's get me to 1,000 subscribers. Let's get me up there, man. He just beat Jared Anderson. Oh, yeah. I didn't really see that fight. I'm going to keep it a beam. I saw the highlights. He kind of reminds me of kind of got that George Foreman type of vibe to him. He got awkward, looping type of punches. He could definitely crack though. He's big, he's strong. He got a lot of punching power. Yeah, he's pretty decent. He did. He destroyed Jared Anderson too. And at one point I was kind of high on Jared Anderson, but I don't know. He really hasn't shown consistency in his dedication towards the sport. And it's obviously it showed in his performance. He took a beating, man. He showed that he got to work on some things. That's one of the overseas guys to watch out for Bacoli Beast. I'll definitely start tuning into him. I'm going to start looking up his videos, his highlights, look him up on YouTube. I got to get back into the heavyweight division because at one point I really stopped watching the heavyweight division. You know, I was spoiled to grow up and watch heavyweights from the late 80s and the 90s. I watched those guys. So when I measure these heavyweights today, I try to compare them with the guys that I grew up watching. And it's like a no-brainer. The heavyweights back in the 90s were way more skilled. They had amateur pedigree. They weren't as big. They were way more athletic. You know, so these heavyweights today are not really... The only ones that I see that can be competitive, that can, you know, be a factor in the 90s will be a Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Those are the only ones. The only loss was to Michael Hunter 6 years ago. He had a damaged shoulder. Well, once again, like I was just saying, it takes a special fighter to take a loss and then come back and accomplish great things. We seen some fighters that took losses, and like I said, they weren't able to come back. My favorite fighter of all time was Felix Trinidad. He lost to Bernard Hopkins. He was never the same, even though he did come back and beat Ricardo Mayorga. But he never became a champion again. Roy Jones, when he got knocked out, right? Roy Jones came back. He never got a chance to really do anything great after that. Then you got guys like Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto took some serious losses, bad losses. The Margarito lost, the Manny Pacquiao lost. He bounced back. He beat Margarito, fought Floyd, gave him probably his toughest fight, then lost to Floyd, lost to Austin Trout, came back, went to 160, rebuilt himself, became a world champion again, and fought Canelo Alvarez and lost a competitive 12-round fight. You know, Cotto's a fighter that was able to bounce back. It takes a special fighter with a certain type of a mental mindset to be able to overcome a loss and then come back and accomplish more greatness, man. Anyway, look, man, I appreciate everybody tuning into my live. I'm about to sign off right now. I might jump back on later on. You know, pardon me, I didn't put a heads up or anything like that. I just jumped on very spontaneously. Juan Manuel Marquez too, absolutely. Marquez definitely is a fighter that took losses and was never mentally demoralized. He came back. He came back and accomplished great things, man. He lost early in his career to a Filipino by the name of Chris John. And we see what he did, what his career turned out to be. I want Benavidez versus Morrell. Yeah, especially now that both of them are at 175 pounds. I wasn't really too impressed with David Morrell though his last fight, to be honest with you. And he's someone that, going into that fight, I was bragging about him. I was telling my homie, I said, yo, this is almost a guaranteed knockout. But he didn't look too sharp. He won the fight clearly, to me. Some people said that main man was robbed. But I had Morrell winning the fight. But like I said, I wasn't impressed. Anyway, once again, thank you for tuning in. Low Nose Boxing. Hit the like button, share the video, leave a comment. God bless y'all all and your family, man. You know, appreciate what you have. Because not everybody has family. You know, but we do have God. Just got to lean into him. God bless. I'm going to enjoy my night. Y'all enjoy yours.